Hello everyone. So we're back for the rest of the first workflow to continue on the previous momentum and bring modifications and improvements. So what I'm going to do here first is I'm going to disable Florence. There already initially it was like this. So this we detach. Here we do a global selection with control, careful not to include the last image preview at the top. Here we have everything. All the nodes are selected. We bypass them. There you see it did still select this. So you have to be careful. Him we put back, him we reactivate. So here I put a woman. Here I put a man. Okay, I did it earlier. So we're going to use LORAs today. So the LORAs I use this one. There are several. If you type LORA I have tons. LORA.t. For FLUX I use this one. Why? Let me explain why. We're going to make a bridge to connect them. So actually model to model. There for the clip, the same thing. We make a bridge here. So the LORAs. So I selected very few LORAs. I have a folder, there are tons. I deliberately changed the path to reduce the list. I'm going to take this one for example. Here you have the LORA string. I leave it at 1. Why do I use this one? Well, for one, because you can chain them without having to add a node after. We're going to put this one. I don't know exactly what it does. I've never used it. I'm going to lower the string. There. So why is it interesting? In addition to being able to chain them and so on, and to be able to disable them directly, you can right-click and if it's on Civitai see information like for example the trigger word if there is one. In this case I don't know if they need it, we fetch. There. There. Here you see the trigger word is here. So you just have to click there to copy to add it, for example here. Hop comma. And we're going to launch the render to see what happens. See you at the end of the render. So we're back after the image render. It's a bit blurry. I really don't know what this LORA brought. Especially this one, I'm going to disable it. I'll just leave this realism one. I'm going to do a second render. Meanwhile, I ask you the question. If I disconnect this, which gives us the image dimension as well as the number of images I explained to you previously, what can happen? First of all, what does it offer us if we start from this? It offers us all this. Of course, you can get others here. There. So just a reminder, double click. I don't know if I mentioned it. So we're going to do this. Encode. So you have a decode and you have an encode. What does it ask for? It asks us for a VE and pixels or an image. For a VE, let's put this one, it's the same VE. It asks us for an image. Well, we have one here. We're not going to disable it. If we disable it, it will be hot bypass. And here I'm going to put it here. There, it's a bit blurry. I don't think the LORA did any miracles. It's not a big deal. So you saw I connected the image here and I added a VE. Here I'm going to change this image. Let's use this one. Then I do a render. What can happen? Well, you'll see. I didn't change the prompt, but that might cause a problem. There's going to be a man and a woman mixed. It'll be a bit strange. I don't need this anymore that I disabled the LORA. There I put back a woman. Disabled the trigger word of the LORA. And we're going to see what it will give by changing here, not by having an image size input but a VE and an encode. Well, we have a man on the beach with a hat. The prompt was with a man. So for now, here we don't have a big chain. We're going to see with a woman what that gives us. After I'm going to show you something else. We're going to lower here the den Y. I'm going to set it to 0.65. I'm going to send back an image. So to speed up the FLUX models, there is a LORA called Turbo Alpha. There, this one you'll have to rename it. It's that one. I have it in my folder, but well in my complete folder of LORAs. So it's not here on this one because actually so that all my LORAs don't mix and that it's clear I changed the path. So what do we have there? It's arriving. Already the image there was much sharper. Okay. It's already better. So there I lowered it. If here I put 0.55, I'm going to go get my LORA anyway and transfer it. Well, you see I have everything Hein. Careful Hein, there's something for everyone. So it's not the detailer. It's this one, it's the turbo. So it's that one. There that. So here what I'm doing is I'm copying it to put it in my current folder for the exercise. I'm going to where my Comfyui is, which is here. So I'm going into the models, I'm going into the LORAs and I'm pasting it. There. You saw what that gives. Well, the image is not very sharp, it's true. That was with 0.65. Now I'm doing it there. The render is on 0.5. So you're going to do what's commonly called image to image by adding this and encode here, and by lowering the strength here. But then there you see I just downloaded the turbo but it's not appearing. That's totally normal. It will appear when I have done a refresh. So you just have to press F5 and wait. It can be more or less long, but always less long than directly restarting the console from the beginning and relaunching. There. So now if all goes well, if there are no errors, I should have it. It's there, the turbo. We'll leave it as is at 1. I'll just lower this. And so with this LoRa we can reduce the steps. For example, I'm going to set it to 12 and we should have the same image quality. So here I'm going to put 0.75 starting from a new image so that you understand the principle well. Let's take for example this and I relaunch. So I added the turbo here, I reduced. We're going to change for the next one here. You can also use, well, I always use this one, practically it's the fastest. After there are some that don't work that will give you blurry images. I'm not going to test all of them. There are tons. So once we have understood this principle that we can do here image by image. You say, yeah, the image is nice and so on. But well, I'm in 1024 by 1024. I don't even know. No, we are not in 1024 by 1024. So it will get the resolution. There in this case, since we no longer have a size indicated here, it will get the image source size information. There you see we have image by image, and by adjusting here you get more or less close to the subject. The more you increase, the more the subject will be identical. And the more you lower, the more it will take it easy a bit. 0.4 for example. So you say yes, well okay, nice image, yeah, it's pretty, but I'd still like to enlarge it, give it a little more strength. So what you can do here, you pull here something like this and you search. Well, there are tons of ways to enlarge an image. For example, this one. There, for example, the image will be enlarged twice. Factor dot. For example, if you type this 0.5, it will be divided by 2. If you leave it as is, it won't change anything. There, you're doing image by image. Here we're going to make some space. We're going to enlarge this a bit if it wants to enlarge it for me. There, it doesn't want to do it like last time. There, it's enlarging it for me, it's good. There we hold this. We select this. We hold Alt-I. We move it. We put it in a clean spot. Dead on, I didn't do it on purpose. So in here for example I do this. So here we're going to say we want it for example 1.5 times larger. So I relaunch. My bad. You see at 0.9 it did how it simply followed the prompt actually. So that's right. The more you lower it, the more it takes it easy, the more it moves away from the reference image. So here I was missing. That. These are all my upscaler models. Okay. Now you'll have to put in models upscales model. There. So here for example I'm going to tell it that I'm going to take one not too long, I'm going to take a basic one that's not super great. But okay, we'll take this one, and we send it. So we should have this dimension multiplied by 1.5. That was pretty fast, hein? After there are some upscalers that are very, very long. You have this one which is not bad. There which directly enlarges by 4, which gives super good results too. We're going to do a comparison. So actually you just have to put an image link here. We're going to reduce anyway, we'll look at them big afterwards. We're going to reduce this if it wants to reduce it for me. There. Here same Alt, we move it. And here we have this. Okay. So here we're going to put another image because with a doll it won't be great. We're going to take for example this one. So she's not at the beach. So I'm just going to put the woman simply. I'm not going to bother. There the turbo, I leave it. You saw anyway that the reduction the render time at 12 by activating the turbo is great. You can even put 10 high. 10 at the steps level is top. So there I leave it at 0. Here I'm going to lower it a little so that it takes a little more of the image. So I'm going to put 0.7 for example. I do a render. So here we're going to have 2 upscaler models. There are many other models. You also have this one. There, the Super IR. I find it really, really long. So I don't use it. After what else do we have? Well, already you have the base there. After there is this one too, which is used a lot. This one there, which is used a lot on tutorials and so on, which is a bit more complex to set up relatively speaking, but I find it long too. So I use it very rarely. There. So you saw that there at 0.7 it still took the reference image. There. Then here it's doing that one which is a bit long behind because it's going to do it. It's going to do it in X4. I'm going to remove sunshine because there's no background. Just this. You can put that in there too so that your images have better render. The keyword masterpiece. There. So here we have the 1024 version. Wait, let's go back. There. So 1024 by 1024. That's the version width. You see anyway that by enlarging it's not great here. Well, after it's true that it's X4. So let's see this one. That's an X2. After you have to find the right compromises. It's always the same thing, it's a matter of testing. There. So we're going to do that. But for me this white background I find it so actually. What can we do first? I'm going to enlarge it. It's bothering me, this one. There. We're going to enlarge it here. This thing is nice, but well, in this case, the white background is maybe not a good example either because it's a white background. We're going to try something with a background. Let's take the cat for example. Well, then it's a cat, it's not a woman anymore. There. So I'll leave it for now. I leave it at 0.7 here. I don't touch here. I leave the two upscalers together. However, well, we're going to do a render like that hind first by leaving it at 0.7 by writing a cat with a cap, and we're going to see what kind of render it will do for us. Well, the cat is nice, but well, I would just like the cat playing the guitar. Is that possible? We can try it. So here, what we can try to find is something that removes the background. Well, likewise there are tons. There are tons. We're going to try to find one that's not too complicated to explain to you and that's rather effective. What can I explain to you? I think I'm going to take this one because I think if you followed the first tutorial you already have this custom node. Oh yes, we see the cat's cap behind delicately, and it remains image by image. We're perhaps going to tell it to get even less close to the prompt. No, there, it will get closer there. I have to do the opposite, 0.85 rather. There, so I do a render. So there, well, yes sir, it's true that you're missing this. There will need a preview to see that it works correctly. There. And here then, it will receive the image. There, which passes through this. Well, there are several. I installed all of them. So we have to see if it installs them automatically for you. Yes, I think it must install them on launch. So we'll leave it, for example, we'll leave it as is. We'll leave the 14 by default. There, it's gone. There, it did the cap anymore, but we're more on a comic book style. So there I launch. There, while it's doing its little thing. So let's see a bit. Ah, that one was not pretty. So that was prettier already. Yeah, that was okay. That was this LORA that did that. Okay. There. Well, it did keep the bench though. Well, that's okay. That's okay. So then we'll be able to change. We'll be able to say, for example, I don't know anymore if we say in bench or on bench. Excuse me for my English. There maybe a comma here. Ah, there, it does keep the tone of the base image though. A cat playing the guitar. There, it's sitting on some kind of bench. Nice, that one. I don't know why it put a signature at the bottom. Well, anyway. However, it didn't replace. So let's see. I think rather that it's on that I made a mistake. You'll correct me if I made mistakes in English. Here the problem is that we don't have many settings. I'm going to change. I'm going to put, for example, this one. There. No background. Well, what you should know is that when you have a base image, right-click, you have the masks. Meaning you can mask parts of the image that will not be processed. Everything that is white will be replaced. Everything that is black will remain as is. That for now, I'm not going to confuse you with that. We're not going to talk about masks here. Well, okay, it did it on a bench. Okay. But it still doesn't want to give us a background. Does that come from this remove one? Let's see a bit that. I'm going to do a search here. We're going to try another one. Is there one that's a bit more inspiring? We're going to try that one to see if we get a background or not. Yet there it relies a bit more on the prompt. Yes, but I didn't put a preview. Am I stupid? I didn't put a preview. There. There, it's really to show the image by image a bit. There, the LORAs. Add LORAs. Enlarge an image. Remove a background. Well. Already here we have a cat on a bench in Central Park, well, at least in a park. It really didn't care about the cat playing the guitar, Hein. I might go a little high there. I might have gotten carried away, but oh well. 0.8. Ah, well there. There already, however, it cut off the end of the guitar. I don't know why. Is it a dimension problem? I don't know at all. Well, already there's no bench anymore, it removed everything high. Always the same. A matter of settings. What could I do? Normally it says alpha. There it is here, alpha. I'm going to put it. I don't think that's it, but we can still test it. Ah well, there we arrived. A cat playing the guitar on a bench. But they're starting from the base image. Okay. However, well, the cat is nice, I like him. But we're going to take a character. A whole person if possible who is nice and not too daring either. Oh, I don't have many daring ones here. So we're going to take that one, which is quite nice, isn't it? Well, it's the same except that it's not a cat anymore. Hup, there, sorry. There. So there I put alpha to see a little what that give. There it would only output the mask if here I got the mask. I have nothing to get the mask here. You see mask output. There. Well, we can try that to see. We'll do it afterwards so as not to confuse you. So here I'm going to relaunch here. Here so we have 0.8. We're going to see if the young lady is on the bench. Okay. Well, there it really did the alpha mask as if we had painted directly. You see? Well, you see, I don't know if I explained it to you. Yes, I explained it to you earlier by clicking on that. So by going into mask, there we could paint. I told you that black was kept, that white was replaced. So there we're going to have I'm going to have a surprise at the same time as you there. Well, the surprise is that here, however, it didn't like it, it only got. So actually you shouldn't put that. Don't put only mask. Well, I'm just going to try this. Afterwards I'm going to disable the two. We're going to relaunch. We're even going to reduce here to 10 to save time. Even if I speed up the renders, if you really see that it's too long, I speed up in the video afterwards. After, if we want to get the prompt really from the image always the same high, and by using Florence here for example, we'll have less leeway to do image by image and make modifications here since the prompt will already be the image that we give it. That allows precisely to make modifications directly on a given image. We're even going to lower it afterwards. We're going to do a test at 0.65. But then what I don't understand is that it's making me an illustration. Anyway, it listened to what I told it. It put the lady on the bench. There, the cutout is pretty good. I'm going to disable maybe this LORA there. The one causing us problems. I'm not sure, Hein. We're going to do a test with that. After, if you want to get Florence, it's a bit of a mess. Be careful. Always the same control, we select everything. Right-click on one of the selected nodes, bypass. That resets them all. I didn't explain that to you, it's for aligning the nodes neatly. There, it's the mask. Okay. So now we saw earlier something that we haven't tested actually. It's this. Let's see what it offers. So what did it do there? Well, always the same hind feet, we know hind hands feet, we know it's the same hassle. But you see it really used the prompt. So actually it completely ignored the central park bench and so on. So it's not a big deal. We're going to reuse our manual prompt. Florence, go back to sleep in your sleep. I bypass it, I bypass it. I bypass it here. There. And we're going to test this. So here I'm going to replace the image, there it will be. Actually, I'm not sure I'm using this one here. So we're going to bypass it. We're going to bypass the background replacement. I'm going to use the direct image here. There well, it's still the same one. We have everything, we're missing nothing. We're missing the mask. So here it offers a map. I'm going to say well hop. So for now, this I bypass it too. So let's see if I set it to 1 here to test and I launch. After we are on the mask. So we're going to see what first we're going to see at 1 what it gives without touching anything. At 0.6, what it gives afterwards here. Do we have modifications or not? Here we see that the original image and the image here, it's exactly the same one. In the end at 1, it didn't change anything. Okay. There it makes 3 because of course there are the upscalers behind that continue to work. I didn't disable them. Now what we can do is try to make a mask on the image. So mask editor. We're going to reduce the thickness anyway, which is quite large. And I'm going to remove this for example. Well, for those who follow the tutorials I put before, not on this one on part 1, but on other tutorials I've already mentioned masks. So here we want it to replace. Here I don't want it to be black that. I'm not interested in that. I don't want her to be naked either, Hein. I didn't say that, Hein. I don't want it to be black. Oh dear, it's going a bit fast. I'm not going to do it properly. We'd have to do it properly. That's not the goal of the exercise here. And there we save. There. So there it's the same thing. It didn't do anything at 0.6 either. It didn't modify anything. You see? Now with the mask. So we're going to put, for example, that she wears a red top, for example. I think that's it, and we test. We'll see if the mask is done or not. I confess I don't remember using this much. We'll see. Well, it put white on him. Why? I think actually the more you increase it, the more it will rely on the prompt. So it's a bit logical that it put a bit. You saw that anyway, replaced it. So I want to see if it's just because I made a mask. I didn't see what it put. What did it put? I don't know what it did. It did. Well, afterwards, to erase objects and so on, we'll use what's best currently, its flux context. The new model. If you know it, it means you're already well advanced, and that maybe this, what I'm showing you here, is useless to you, and that you have already far surpassed all these levels. Here I'm trying to do this for the really beginner. There. We replaced it. We put a red top. So I think for today the video will be enough, and I'll see you for a third part as soon as possible, considering that summer is here, and that I might have less time. Thank you for following me, and don't hesitate to put a like and subscribe. See you soon.